Jimmy Carter.
Yep. Stamp too.
Nice.
Good tie. I didn't see any good ties yesterday when I was out looking for ties. I like that one.
Yeah, my wife gave me this tie. She gave me this tie because of elephants.
You like elephants?
Yeah, we like elephants, and elephants are good luck, and you know, it's a nice tie.
Okay. All right. A lot of close-ups, mostly twos. Okay. I'm sure someone said this already. You've never looked better, right? Than in this film.
Oh, no, nobody said that.
No, really?
You're the first one. Thank you.
I figured. I like you as visible, and I like you when you can see you as well. Was it a tough shoot?
I like you.
Was it tough to? You had to wear a lot of blue costume type things, didn't you? So
oh yeah,
they could technically take you out.
We did a lot of blue screen work and a lot of strange makeup for the special effects, covering my face in black and my mouth with black and my teeth black or white out, or and scleral lenses which cover your entire eyes. A lot of Caro syrup and glycerin on me, and all kinds of things to make it work.
Was that fun or confusing? Or
well, it was confusing and difficult because the moves in that kind of makeup, the moves were specific for ILM. They had to be very specific to match the film within which the character had to appear. So it was difficult and arduous, but it was fun too. It's fun to watch that happen. It's not so much fun to be a part of it because it's hell.
Yeah, but you're not used to that kind of acting where you have to be so specific, are you? You know,
when I say technically, yeah, I am. I mean, really, maybe a few people know this, but one of the major crafts of movie acting is matching, physically and emotionally and in tone and in every way, for different angles and different takes and different setups of the camera. Every hand movement, every word, everything you do. So that's part of the craft. You have to know that already. But it's doubly difficult when you have to run along a huge blue screen floor and backdrop on a stage, and it has to fit a street scene that's already been shot. And that took some time and timing.
When I was a kid, I remember seeing, I don't know if it was a movie or a serial or what, The Invisible Man, or a television show. What was it? Do you remember?
Well, there was a movie with Claude Rains called The Invisible Man. Then there was I think David McCallum did a TV series for a while. There was Topper, the film, and then there was also Topper, the television series. All four of those were dealt with invisibility.
Yeah, it was real big in the late 50s. I remember in the early 60s, we used to think about that as kids. You know, all kids think about what it would be like to be invisible and where you would go, but I guess it wouldn't be that much fun when you
when you're being chased by Sam Neill and the CIA. No?
Yeah.
I mean, we all dream of it, and one of the intriguing things about the book and the film is that it turns out invisibility ain't what we thought it would be. It's a tough way to live, lonely and dangerous and difficult.
Now, when you were trying to, this is your film in more ways than one, besides just being a star, you really were behind it for a lot of years. Did you know where you wanted to go? I mean, you know, want to be real serious, or you want to be a comedy, or somewhere in between? What were you really trying to, the original mission anyway?
For Bruce and I, we felt that we wanted to try to get the tone of the novel. It was a very dark novel, and it dealt for hundreds of pages with the isolation of this man, both emotionally and physically, from the world, because he couldn't be revealed, or else he'd be found by the people who wanted to use him for covert activities. Obviously, we couldn't labor that in the movie because it's a shorter period of time, but the tone was something we really wanted to try to match and still entertain. So we had to be also comedic, but rooted in reality. And it's a great romance. The romance takes place much later in the book than it does in the movie. We begin the film with a romance, and then she loses him to this accident, and then they're together again throughout the third act of the film.
I went back and watched a couple of your movies, as I generally try to do before I interview someone who has a lot of different work. And I have my favorites, and some that didn't even do very well. I like the one with the Wizard of Oz people. What was that one called? Oh, Heavenly Dawn.
That was Under the Rainbow.
Under the Rainbow.
Yeah.
See, that's not on your resume anymore, I don't think. But I really like that film.
I think it should be on my resume because it was the first film that I made I think the first film I made $1 million on or something. It took twice as long to shoot that picture.
Yeah, I like that one. If you had to sit down and you were on a desert island, they call it the desert island disc type thing, and you had to take some of your movies and were forced to watch, which ones would you take along for us to watch? If we had to say 3.
Oh, God, what a terrible dilemma.
You have to watch it with me, see.
I'd say probably Caddyshack, Fletch, Vacation, Invisible Man, 3 Amigos.
Is this in descending order of popularity?
Funny Farm. No, I'm just
just
throwing out the ones that you know, are just tending to stand out right now. That were fun to do. And
now, a lot of people would say that Foul Play's not on that list, and that's a real favorite of a lot of people. I know I like it too.
A lot of people do love that movie, and you know, I've seen it a few times. I still see it as a kind of a glitzy, specific genre type of film in the late 70s from Hollywood that looked and felt like, oh, the one with Wilder and Pryor on the train, you know.
Silver Streak.
Silver Streak. It was a particular type of movie that, you know, I think it was good. It was okay, but lit very hot, almost television-oriented. And for me, it was very difficult because it was my first movie, and I never felt comfortable in it. I felt very awkward trying to act.
But we liked it as the fans, because I think it did very well financially.
And I could see why, because I've seen it, you know, more recently, and like it much more than I did then.
Yeah. Dudley Moore's scene is still a classic.
Oh yeah.
Maybe he was never funnier than that.
Yeah, Dudley's great. Yeah.
I was trying to think of some things. On your career thing here, I can't really see a single thread that goes through your films, but the characters are generally very likable. Do you make sure that at least the character is likable? You've never been really a jerk.
I'd love to be unlikable, dislikable.
Yeah, despicable. What would be?
I'd love to play a jerk. I mean, I'd love to play a bad guy. I mean, I'd like to be a heavy. Those are all things that I don't think you'll see me doing a lot of, because there isn't a great call for Chevy Chase as a heavy in a movie. But I think I'd enjoy the challenge, and I think I'd be a good heavy.
Yeah,
a jerk? Well, only Steve can really do that.
That's true. I was looking over some things, too, about career. You remember the old thing about you going to be host of The Tonight Show? We figure you're going to reveal that now this year, that you are actually going to take over The Tonight Show and stop all this.
Very smart.
Johnny doesn't know that yet. But
no, Johnny would know, though. We play poker all the time. He'd know by now.
But you ever wish that or thought about your career maybe going another direction, either stand-up, that road?
Well, I never did stand-up, and I don't care for it.
But you're good at it, again. That's something you're good at, but you may not like.
Well, I've never done it.
Academy Awards type things.
Yeah, that kind of thing, yeah. I do think a lot about television, and I do think that eventually I'll get involved with it quite a bit, extensively, perhaps. It may well be in the same kind of thing that Johnny and Dave Letterman and those guys are doing. I don't know.
Yeah. Enjoyed seeing you on Saturday Night Live recently. It was a good memory. I stayed home that night.
It was fun to do it.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, it was a good night. I did interview a man recently.